So, my video is going to consist of my 7 favorite characters, or 7 of my favorite characters. I have many favorite characters, but these are just my, yes. Let's get started. Number 1, Neville Longbottom from the Harry Potter series. Don't get me wrong, I totally love pretty much every single Harry Potter character in the series, except for maybe Umbridge. However, I found I connected with Neville on a much deeper level than any other character. Despite his smaller amount of page time in the books, maybe it's because Neville's so shy and awkward like I was whilst growing up. Like I still happen to be as an adult. But Neville holds an extremely special place in my heart. Number 2, Molly Peskin-Suso from The Upside of Unrequited. Alright, so I totally adore Molly. I found so much of myself in her, the way that she thought of herself, how she swore like a sailor. One big thing for me was that she's a plus-size character, and in terms of representation, I myself as a reader, well, I only know of maybe 3 books where the main character is plus-size. Number 3, Farrah Acheron from A Court of Thorns and Roses. I could literally spend hours upon hours gushing about these books and characters. Good lord. I love Farrah. Her character development is on point, okay? Like, the changes that she goes throughout the book, throughout Akamath, Akatar, and Akawar, it's actually crazy. She's badass and feminist. She's still incredibly kind after everything she's been through. I literally live for her development. In Akamath, I saw myself in her. In the second book, it was so glaringly obvious that she was suffering from mental illness. I myself struggle with my own mental health every day, and it's tough. So to see a main character struggling with things that I struggle with, to see a main character struggling with the same things that I struggle with on a daily basis, it made me feel like I wasn't alone. And it was really heartening to follow her recovery process and see all of the people that surrounded her with utter love and support and let her figure things out for herself, but were still there for her to lean on if she needed them. But it was up to her to choose whether she needed them or not. Number 4, Sansa Stark from A Song of Ice and Fire. Reading these books, I'm flipping forward to see how many more pages or how many more chapters I had left until I got to another Sansa chapter. I got so excited whenever I saw her name at the top of the chapter and knew that I was going to be reading from her perspective. I loved Sansa's character development from Little Dove, or Little Bird, to Wolf. Sure, she didn't start out as a badass female who fights with her fists and is crass and a tomboy. She's a lady, just like her mother always taught her to be, whereas the rest of her siblings are completely different from her. But we see throughout the series that she has the heart of a wolf, just like Arya, Bran, Rickon, Jon, and Robb. She's a survivor and a fighter. She just has a different style of fighting than the rest of her siblings. The rest of her siblings fight with swords. She fights with words and her will to survive and her thoughts and gentleness. Number 5, Adelina Amuteru from The Young Elite. I probably pronounced her name really wrong, but that's just how I read it while reading the books. Adelina is an incredibly different character from the rest of the people on my list, just because of the reasons why I love her. Adelina is incredibly dark. She's full of rage and vengeance and just only wants revenge in the end. Really all that she wanted to begin with was friends who would love, respect, and be there for her, but she was betrayed again and again by the people that she thought she could trust because they were like her. The power she has plays tricks on her mind that only gets worse as time goes on, and well, so does she, to put it loosely. I just found that reading from her perspective was captivating because she's so different from myself. Number 6, Percy Jackson from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, as well as the Heroes of Olympus series. It didn't take me a very long time to fall in love with this character. He's sassy, he's goofy, he's witty, and loyal to a fault. I loved reading from his perspective so much that I finished the first 2 books in 2 days. But seriously, Throughout the books, you just grow to love how much he genuinely cares for his friends and for his family, and how he would literally do anything for them if it meant that they were safe, happy, and protected. And finally, number 7, Jem Carstairs from the Infernal Devices trilogy. Alright. So I know a lot of people who freak out or are in love with Jem's parabatai, Will Herondale, because he's the bad boy of the books. I get that, I totally do. It just seems like maybe my preferences might be slightly different, seeing as Jem is this polite gentleman who's musically inclined and silver haired, and it doesn't help that his backstory hurts my heart like a lot. Alright everyone, we've come to the end of my second video ever. Woo! I hope you enjoyed my minor amount of fangirling over the characters in this list. This list does not cover every single character that I genuinely adore, but I really wanted to stick with this theme, so I had to stick with 7. And those characters were in no particular order. So I just wanted to give a little insight into what I'm doing this weekend, because I am freaking pumped, like I'm freaking out internally. I'm going to Ottawa Comic-Con with my cousin and my sister. Madeleine Petch, who plays Cheryl Blossom from Riverdale, is going to be there. Matthew Lewis from the Harry Potter series is also going to be there. And if you don't know, he plays Neville Longbottom, one of the people I mentioned in this list. Actually, I think he's the first person I mentioned. But then also Bob Morley, who plays Bellamy Blake on The 100. He's going to be attending. Bye!